following is a presentation of the Belly Up Sports Media Network.
Welcome to the MorganMan Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Stacy Cole Morgan. Here on the MorganMan Sports Podcast, we talk Atlanta Falcons news, pre-game predictions, and all other news surrounding the Atlanta Falcons.
Touchdown, Atlanta!
Also on the podcast, we talk Call of Duty League, Esports, covering Roster Mania, major predictions, COD champs, player trades, and much more to get you ready for every single CDL weekend.
Scuff goes through, and Scuff snaps, wins the one-on-one in optic with the reverse sweep.
If that sounds good with you, put on your Falcons jersey, grab your gaming headset, and let's get this show started. What is going on, you guys? I'm your host, Stacy Cole Morgan, and you're listening to the MorganMan Sports Podcast here on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or on YouTube. Ladies and gentlemen, today we are talking about the Atlanta FaZe with their triumphant victory over the Vancouver Surge in the grand finals at the Major 2 tournament, all the other teams that were involved in this tournament, and so much more. So without any further delay, let's go and get straight into today's action. Heading into Major 2, the Atlanta FaZe were looking to win their third straight championship and their second of the 2025 CDL season. With an undefeated run through the winners bracket, Atlanta went on to a clean 4-0 sweep in the grand finals, securing their third straight major tournament victory. Here's how it happened. The Toronto Ultra taking on the Los Angeles Thieves. The undefeated qualifier curse continues as the LA Thieves were bounced out of the tournament by the Toronto Ultra in a dominant fashion to start the day on Sunday. Thieves never had a chance. Here they came out incredibly slow and were fully dominated in all stages of the game by Ultra. For map 1 protocol hardpoint, Ultra definitely had the upper advantage in this entire series, beating the Los Angeles Thieves 250 to 115 in just map 1. They squared up with one of the best protocol hardpoint teams in the game, nearly 100-point clubdom. In map 2, Thieves couldn't even catch a break as they were away multiple man advantages situations. In round 10, Joe DeCesves stealed the map with a disgusting turn-on kill that ended up winning them the round. Down 2-0 with zero momentum, the Thieves desperately needed to recapture some momentum in map 3. Unfortunately for them, map 3 was even quicker than maps 1 and 2. In the first round, the Thieves were down to 5 lives remaining with 0 ticks captured. They were able to get 2 complete waves of kills that allowed them to capture A and get a stack on B. While it looked good for a second, Kleenex came in with a huge triple kill, completely killing the Thieves' hopes, of a hot start. This was a monumental victory in the seasons for both Toronto and LA. Not only does it validate Toronto's offseason moves, but it cemented Joe DeCesves as one of the best players in the league in his current form. In a good matchup with so much crossover between these two rosters, Toronto got the revenge they were looking for. This is certainly a low point for the Thieves on the year headed into the tournament, that they were the only undefeated team and were the overwhelming favorite to win the event, having lost the winners round 1 and failing to make it to the grand finals. Failure is the only thing that could describe this performance from one of the best rosters that we have seen in recent CDL history. FaZe squeaks by the Vancouver Surge in the winners finals. So in the second match of the day, Atlanta squared up against Vancouver in the first Game 5 series we've seen in a long time. Vancouver came out hot in the respawns and got up to a fast lead in the series behind huge performances from 0-4 and Abuza. After taking map 1, FaZe took both maps 2 and 3 to take the lead series. Bouncing back from the back-to-back losers, Vancouver took the second hardpoint of the series, forcing a Game 5. After recovering from both Respawn's losses, FaZe was able to Nelso the series, taking the S&Ds in control to win the series 3-2. There wasn't a particular standout performance from anyone on both sides of FaZe or Vancouver. Everyone on the team was a negative in the series besides Cellium due to its dominance. Vancouver was in both hardpoints. It was clear FaZe needed to clean things up and Respawn if they were going to finish the tournament as champions. Vancouver takes down the Toronto Ultra. Surge didn't let their loss to FaZe derail their Major 2 run as they were able to make quick work of Toronto in the loser finals. After slamming Thieves to start off the day, many people had believed Toronto could win the entire event. That didn't last long as the series started and Surge continued their Cinderella run in the Major 2 tournament. Surge continued their Respawn dominance with map 1 win and then went down to the wire once again. Surge's late game poised to get them in a crucial map win, giving them the confidence they needed for the rest of the way. Toronto punched right back and took map 2 and S&D with a 6-4. Surge continued to struggle in the search and destroy as they lost their third of the day. Luckily for Surge, they were able to bounce right back and secure map 3, and that gave them the momentum they needed to close out the series. Heading to a fourth map, looking desperate for Toronto as Surge were perfect on the day in hardpoint. Surge were able to close out the series in a map 4 hardpoint, punch their ticket to the grand final rematch against Atlanta FaZe. Here's how it sounded. For utter dominance in the grand finals, the only word that could be described in Atlanta's performance in the grand finals was dominance. Vancouver came out into a series red hot after making quick work of Toronto in the loser finals matchup with an undefeated hardpoint record of the day. Vancouver ran into the brick wall that was Atlanta FaZe and got taken down 4-0 in the grand finals. After keeping it close in map 1, it looked like it would be a competitive back and forth series, but Vancouver was running out of gas. In map 2, Surge and Destroy, Cellium closed the game on a 9-kill streak as FaZe utterly dominated Vancouver, taking all the momentum in the series. Knowing that Vancouver wasn't in a spot to make a 3-0 comeback, everyone knew that map 3 was a must-win. They gave themselves many winnable scenarios, but the guns of FaZe were still too much to handle. After multiple gut-wrenching round losses, FaZe took the control and was coasting to a Major 2 victory. The map 4 hardpoint was a victory lap for FaZe as what was Vancouver's best map statistically heading into the series. They jumped out to a huge lead early after winning every rotation in the first set. Vancouver just couldn't keep up with FaZe. Won map 4 by a score of 250 to 137, securing their third major championship victory in a row. This was a record-setting performance for every FaZe member. This victory marks the first three-peat, in competitive Call of Duty League history since Black Ops 3. And FaZe's 13-win streak on land is the most ever in the CDO era. Simp, Abizi, and Cellium are without question the best trio in CDO history and have earned their spots in the conversation for the best competitive Call of Duty players in history. The MVP of the tournament was Cellium, had the best grand finals KD in CDO history with a 1.272 KD. It is also his 26th straight tournament with a positive KD. Heading into Major 3, it will be interesting to see if any team will be able to take down the 3-time defending champs, with many top teams potentially making roster moves who will be standing on top of the Boca Raton at the end of the CDL Major 3. So guys, the Atlanta FaZe definitely is one of the best teams in Call of Duty League history, entire Call of Duty Esports history, if I'm pushing the limit right there. Everybody on X, formerly known as Twitter, was talking about this debate, saying that this could live up to, if not be better than the Optic Dynasty that was around just a few years ago with, of course, like Scump and Crim6, you name it. And I was like, okay, look, we need to pump the brakes on there. Abizi, Cellium, and Simp, they're good. They're great. They are earning this conversation right. But it's going to take a while, okay, before they really cement their dynasty level like the 2017 Optic Gaming did when they won Infinite Warfare. We all know how that game went, but Optic still prevailed and won their very first world championship with Scump on that roster. So definitely that had a lot more aura and momentum into it right there. And so it makes that one more special in the Call of Duty esports scene. This right here, yes, Atlanta FaZe is cementing their dynasty, but the question I do want to arise is, this is only in a Treyarch title. I want to see them do this in the next Call of Duty League title. Whether that's a Modern Warfare 4, Advanced Warfare 2, whatever comes up. I want to see this squad right here, this Atlanta FaZe squad, do this in an Infinity War title or a Sledgehammer title. Because if you could do it then yes, I do believe this will be better than the Optic Dynasty. But for right now, this is only in a Treyarch title. Because we all know how Atlanta FaZe plays in a Treyarch title. Look at the Cold War season. Look at the Black Ops 4 season. So, you tell me. I mean, yes, I understand that E United was practically Atlanta FaZe at that time. We just didn't know it. But again, it had Sim and Abizi right there on that squad. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe Cellium was a part of it, or he was part of like the original FaZe clan. But I do know Sim and Abizi was a part of E United, and them two right there is bringing that momentum in this Treyarch title, even from back then. So that is the question I do want to say is, do you think this current dynasty of the Atlanta FaZe is better than the Optic Dynasty that once was? So guys, I sure hope you did enjoy it. If you did, make sure to like button wherever you are listening from, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Google Podcasts, or wherever you find your preferred podcast. And I, Stacy Cole Morgan, will catch you all later. Peace.
Thank you for listening to this Belly Up Sports Podcast Network product. Some said we go belly up, so we made it our name, and we're still here.